She's like a sickness in my brain, a vision standing by the window pane. She ripples through the blinds and leaves me in a daze. It's in the way her body moves me, the way she grabs me and intoxicates, until the signals in my mind forget to operate. In a fragile skull, I take my pleasure from my alcohol. She'll never give you any time at all. She just comes and goes, you know. And she's got me living in a chemical love, and I try to find the strength to know when she comes back to me again. I'm gonna come up from my hiding.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and thank you for joining me for another coffee and crime time. I always say welcome back to my channel. I guess I'm assuming that you've been here before, but if you have not been here before, welcome to the channel. I encourage you to subscribe. We talk about current true crime. We talk about older cases in multiple parts. We talk about cases as they're emerging. We talk about cases once they go to trial. Do a lot of true crime here. We also throw in some dark history and, you know, some creepier things, some spookier things, some supernatural things every so often. And we have a good time here. We have a great community, the best on YouTube if you ask me. So yeah, if you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. And also, I love you. So we got to put that whole casual levity to the side for a bit, because today I bring you a case that is so sad and so tragic, but sadly not uncommon, especially lately. 30-year-old Brianne Pennington was found dead in an upstairs bedroom at 42 Cherry Street in Gardner, Massachusetts on Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. Now, this home on Cherry Street was the home she shared with her husband of 10 years and their 4 young children, aged 2, 5, 7, and 9. And it appears that this family, the Penningtons, had just moved to Massachusetts from California in June of 2022. From the outside, the Penningtons looked like the perfect couple, and a scroll through Aaron's Facebook page would make you think that the son rose and sat with his wife, Brianne. But things aren't always what they seem. And there were factors at play here that created a dangerous situation for Brianne, probably far more dangerous than she ever considered, or far more dangerous than she ever imagined. Because when we love people, we don't think that they could hurt us. But the sad truth is that they can, and they do sometimes. So we're going to get into all of it, but first let's have a word from the sponsor of today's video, Native. Okay, Native. 'Tis the season for Native, but that's not really true because every season is good for Native. And if you've been with me for a while or even for just a few months, you know how much I love Native and how I encourage everyone to try them out for yourselves. Native makes daily staples like deodorant, body wash, lotion, toothpaste, hair care, and skincare. They're all vegan, clean, and cruelty-free, and Native also offers a plastic-free version of their deodorant, which uses the same great formula, but with a more sustainable packaging that's earth-friendly and 100% plastic-free. And I started off my Native love affair with Native's deodorants. And honestly, I'll never go back. I'll never use a different deodorant because they do provide up to 72 hours of odor protection. Not only that, but they're aluminum and paraben-free. Like I said, they use clean, simple, and effective ingredients that you know, like coconut oil and shea butter. Plus, when I use the deodorant, the experience itself is great because they go on smooth and easy. They feel non-sticky while applying. They feel dry while applying. I don't have to sit here for 5 minutes waiting for my deodorant to not feel like a wet slick under my arms. But my favorite part is how good they smell, because Native has a huge range of scents that are sure to please anyone, whether you want something spicier, whether you want something sweeter, whether you want something to smell more clean, more fresh. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, whether it's sweet or spicy, all of Native's deodorants smell clean and fresh. Because it's November, because it's winter time, these are the scents that I have been loving the very most. I don't know why, there's something like woodsy and wintry about them, very like Taylor Swift Evermore album. But this is Black Oak and Amber. This is the one I've probably been wearing every day for a couple of weeks. I love this almost as much as I love the honey and white oak scent. Actually, they're pretty much on par with each other, but I'm out of the honey and white oak and I have to order a bunch more of those because I love honey and white oak. Also, the Earl Grey and mulberry, always a go-to winter scent for me. I don't know why. There's something about it. Maybe it's the fruitiness of the mulberry that kind of reminds me of like a Christmas orange or something. Maybe it's the Earl Grey because I love drinking Earl Grey in the winter. I don't know what it is, but love it. And then we have the grapefruit and bergamot. Once again, I like Earl Grey. Bergamot oil is in Earl Grey tea, and it pairs so beautifully with the grapefruit. Pairs so beautifully. Bergamot oil is a great oil. It's a great scent. I love it, and it tastes delicious also, but I'm not going to eat these. I'm just going to want to. And there's just tons and tons more scents, no matter what you're into. Like the sweet peach nectar is one of my go-tos in the summer because it's so fresh and fruity. I also love cherry vanilla macaron. I have a bunch of those, but I feel like I always talk to you guys about that one, and then they sell out, and then I'm mad because I can't get any more. But like cherry vanilla macaron, my top one favorite native scent all day long, hands down. But right now, you can also peruse Native's limited edition holiday collection featuring candy cane, sugar cookie, fresh mistletoe, and spiked eggnog. And so far, fresh mistletoe has been my favorite because, once again, it has that wintry feel. It elicits great and cozy feelings of the holidays, Christmas tree shopping, all that good stuff. And that's what's so great about Native's scents. They smell so good, but they also smell real. They're never artificial, never too much, just clean and bright, hitting all the memory spots in my brain. I love them. I love them. And if you would like to try Native's deodorants out for yourself, and don't forget, they also have body wash. They also have body wash, which is the best body wash ever. But if you would like to try Native out for yourself, I've got a great deal for you. 3 deodorants would normally be $39, but if you use the link in the description box and use my code stephanieH38, you'll get them for just $27, and that's over 33% off. So I'm going to put that link and that code right here on the screen so you can see for yourself, but you'll also find it in the description box. Just click the link in the description box, use code StephanieH38, and you can get 3 Native deodorants for just $27. That's over 33% off. Thank you so much to Native for sponsoring today's video and for just being yourselves and giving me great deodorant and body wash. Please never stop. I don't know what I would do. It would be like a serious breakup for me. It would be like the ending of the most important relationship in my life. So keep on keeping on, Native. And without further ado, let's dive into today's video. So Gardner, Massachusetts is located in Worcester County. Derek had to teach me how to say that because, once again, to my eyes, it looks like Worcester or Worcester, but it's Worcester. And Derek, my partner on Crime Weekly podcast, he is from Rhode Island, so that's right around his area. And he actually brought this case to my attention because I had been so kind of engaged with Halloween and putting out content for that. I wasn't paying attention to developing stories. And Derek talked about this case on the ID show, Crime Feed, that he's on with Nancy Grace. And he brought it to my attention and he said, this is a crazy case. You should talk about it and cover it. And we covered it briefly during Crime Weekly News this week just to get the basics out and also to make sure that people are on the lookout for Aaron Pennington, who is still at large as of the time I'm recording this, which is November 10th. So, Gardner, Massachusetts, located in Worcester County, has a population of just over 20,000 people, and it's in central Massachusetts. Gardner has been described as a 4-seasons destination with an abundance of outdoor activities that can be enjoyed all year round. Although the crime rate there is slightly higher than the national average, allegedly and reportedly, Gardner has not seen a murder in over 3 years. But all of that changed on the morning of Sunday, October 22nd, when 4 little children showed up to their neighbor's house saying that they could not find their father and that their mother was in her bedroom crying. So this neighbor, Carrie McDermott, she called 911 and police arrived to find the body of Breanne Pennington lying in bed with a gunshot wound to her face. There were 3 shell casings found in the bedroom, but the gun that Brianne owned for protection was missing, as was Brianne's husband, 33-year-old Aaron Pennington. Brianne, or Breezy, as her friends and loved ones called her, she was very loved and cherished by those in her life. Born in Montgomery, Texas, Brianne grew up around horses, and she was an accomplished and competent rider from a young age. As a child, she participated in 4-H. She was really good at all things science, and she loved to sing, both in her high school chorus and her church choir. Now, as an adult, Brianne became interested in makeup, and she enjoyed applying it on herself and onto others. She also had a passion for raising exotic chickens in her yard. But most of all, she loved her family, which included her 4 children and her husband, Aaron. Known as a devoted wife and mother, Brianne was really happy being a mom and a wife. She really seemed to enjoy it, and she was good at it. So it surprised some of her friends and family when she recently began expressing a desire to leave her husband, Aaron, and move back to Texas, taking their children with her. Now, during the investigation, law enforcement discovered that Aaron and Brianne had been having a hard time in their marriage, and this seemed to be mostly due to Aaron's deteriorating mental health.
I just didn't want to believe it. Like, my world just came crashing down.
Chelsea Lowe says her best friend, 30-year-old Brianne Pennington, loved her family more than anything.
She was an incredible mother and a very good wife to Aaron. She was too good to him. She tried and tried and tried, and she stuck it out till the end.
Police say Pennington had been struggling with his mental health, threatening suicide, that his wife had plans to take the kids and go to Texas without him, saying the couple had been having marriage troubles for a while.
He did everything she could to make sure that he got help, and he didn't do it. Aaron has caused so much pain to everybody, and justice needs to be served.
Now, there are some things we need to know about Aaron Pennington. He had joined the Air Force, where he spent 8 years as a special missions aircraft maintainer before being transferred to the reserves in mid-2022, and then he left the military altogether on February 17th, 2023. According to Aaron himself on his LinkedIn page, he said, quote, "I found my passion in the most unlikely of places, the U.S. Air Force. I am a transitioning aircraft mechanic and enthusiast with an active secret clearance who's enjoyed over 6 years of ensuring the airworthiness of planes by working in various roles on the flight line and in the hangar. I cannot wait to bring this knowledge and enthusiasm into my civilian career." End quote. And Aaron's civilian career brought him to Raytheon Missiles and Defense, where he started working as a senior supervisor in May of 2022, which is apparently what brought the Penningtons to Gardner, Massachusetts in the first place, because it appeared that they were living in California. But Brianne seemed to be looking forward to the move from Cali to Massachusetts, writing on a Facebook page for Old Homes, saying, quote, "We are in the middle of buying this awesome house built in 1880 in north central Massachusetts," end quote. And other posts in that Facebook group suggested that she and Aaron were renovating this home, located at 42 Cherry Street. Now, although Aaron's LinkedIn profile shows him as still being employed by Raytheon, a spokesperson from the company stated that he has not worked there for some time, and the Boston Globe has recently confirmed that Aaron stopped working there in March of 2023. So let's kind of look at the, series of events, because what we're going to see here is maybe some things that stressed Aaron out, maybe some things that triggered him, especially if he was having issues with mental health. We don't know why he left the Air Force, but we know that he left the Air Force in February. And then, once again, we have him leaving or being fired from his job at Raytheon in March. And then reportedly, we definitely think he did this. I don't know why I keep saying allegedly, because he hasn't been tried in a court of law, but it was definitely Aaron Pennington who killed Brianne, right? Allegedly, he killed his wife in October. Raytheon has only confirmed that Aaron does not work there anymore, but they haven't said why he doesn't work there. They haven't said if he got fired, or if he did get fired, what he got fired for. Was he acting in a certain way? Was he acting bizarre? Was he scaring people? They haven't said if he, quit. And if he did quit, did he give 2 weeks notice? Did he give a reason for quitting? Or did he just stop showing up one day? All of these things are going to be important, but for some reason, law enforcement is keeping everything kind of very close to their chest. They don't want stuff to get out, because this is an active investigation, technically, even though, once again, it's pretty clear what happened here. Surveillance camera footage showed Aaron Pennington leaving his home in his white 2013 3 Series BMW at around 8:50 a.m. on October 22nd. This was not long before his children found their way to the neighbor's house. Now, what I want to know is, did the kids go into the bedroom where their mother was before they went to the neighbor's house? Or did their father say, hey, I've got to leave for a little bit. Maybe he said something like, I won't be coming back for a while. I love you. I'll miss you. Your mom's in her bedroom crying. And then he took off. And then because they're so young, after 10, 20 minutes of kind of sitting there and thinking, like, what do we do? They went to the neighbors for help. Aaron could have even told them to wait 10, 20, 30 minutes and then go to the neighbors for help, not wanting them to be there by themselves. I would hope that before he left, he locked the door to the bedroom so that if his children went looking for their mother, they wouldn't have to see her laying there in the bed, dead, with a gunshot wound to the face that he had put there. I would hope that certain precautions were taken. But once again, we are dealing with somebody who's evidently and obviously not in his right mind in any way, shape, or form. Aaron's car, his BMW, was found at 5 p.m. the next day by a bow hunter, and this was about 1,500 feet down a wooded trail in an area known as Camp Collier, which is 525 acres of wooded land surrounded by Lake Wampanoag and the northernmost section of Gardner. So when the police gave a press conference and spoke about Aaron's car being found, they said, no, it was not visible from the street. He went 1,500 feet down a dirt path, and that is where he left the car. And clearly he did this for a reason, so that it wouldn't be visible from the road, so that nobody who was out there looking for him would find it or see it and kind of get an idea very quickly where he was. Where Aaron's car was found was just about 3 miles from the Pennington home on Cherry Street, and it's a place that's heavily wooded and very isolated and wild in some areas. I guess this land was trusted to the Boy Scouts. People used to go to Boy Scout camp there all the time. I read some people talking online about how when they were younger, they would go there every summer and spend a few weeks and camp and, learn to start fires and make friendship bracelets. I don't know what the Boy Scouts do because I've never been in the Boy Scouts, obviously, but they really enjoyed this area, but it's a very wild area. Oh, an area where, there's bodies of water, there's places where you can hunt, there's trails to hike and things like that, but a lot of it is very isolated, and there's dense woods in some areas.
It's very heavily wooded. It's sparse. You can go a long ways without seeing anything. So the grid search is large at this point in time.
After the vehicle was found, a code red warning was issued to residents in that area, directing them to stay inside their homes. This shelter-in-place order was issued for areas around Kelton, Wheeler, Raymond, and Stone Streets, but it was lifted around 9:45 that evening when officials said they did not believe there was a threat to the public. However, law enforcement officers would remain posted throughout the city. Local and state officials began searching Camp Collier for Aaron Pennington Monday night, as soon as his car was found, basically. And this search continued through Wednesday, at which time it was reported that law enforcement had searched roughly 200 acres of Camp Collier. On Tuesday, the Worcester District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. announced during a press conference that Pennington had received survival training through the United States Air Force, and law enforcement suspected that he might be able to successfully hide out in the wilderness and survive. Early urged anyone who had trail or security cameras in the vicinity of Camp Collier to contact police so that they could view the footage from the last few days. And authorities said that they believed Aaron had entered the area on Sunday. He was believed to be on foot, and he was most likely armed and dangerous. The DA, Joseph Early Jr., warned that if anyone thought they saw Aaron, they should not approach him.
We are assuming that the man is armed with a handgun. We are assuming that. Like you said, and the state police, Gardner Police, Ashburnham Police, and state police detectives, K-9 to the incredible professionals. They're doing an incredible job with regards to this. They're treating it like they have a man who's armed in the woods, and they're going out to take an abundance of caution. They're going out there in numbers, and we ask, please, no one in the public go out and try and look for this guy. If you run into the guy, call the Gardner police, call the state police, call the police department, and just back off from anything that you might see, but provide us with the information that you might get.
Also on Wednesday, information was released that police had gotten a search warrant for Aaron Pennington's cell phone, and they'd found a very alarming note on that phone, which was dated Saturday, October 21st, the night before Breanne was found dead in her bedroom. Time-stamped at 7:04 that evening, the note said, quote, "Don't say anything. Be quiet. If she wakes up, just say you're getting nasal spray. Get on side of bed, very close proximity to head. Put hole in her head," end quote. So, once again, it is not clear whether this search warrant was for Aaron's physical phone, as if he had left his cell phone behind, or if he has an iPhone and they were able to get a search warrant for his iCloud, and that's how they were able to see the notes in his note app, because everything backs up to the iCloud automatically unless your iCloud has been full for the past 12 years. And then you keep getting notifications that it's no longer backing anything up. And then you're like, ah, shucks. But that's it. It's just not backing anything up, and there's nothing else to do but buy more storage, which I'm not going to do. So, yeah, I don't know if they have Aaron's physical cell phone. If they have his physical cell phone, it also doesn't really clear up for us whether or not he would be on the run or whether or not he went into the woods to take his own life after killing his wife. Either scenario is possible, and either scenario would make sense why he might leave his phone behind if he didn't want to be tracked. What I don't get is why Aaron would make this note in the phone to begin with, right? And once again, we are dealing with somebody who has been struggling with mental health issues, has threatened to take his own life before, clearly was not in a great place, was not thinking logically. So maybe that has something to do with it. We don't know specifically what was going on with Aaron Pennington, what his mental health issues were, what they stemmed from, et cetera, et cetera. But it just doesn't seem like that kind of note is necessary, a step-by-step of how to kill your wife, even coming up with an excuse of what to tell her. If she happens to wake up, say you're getting nasal spray, sit down on the bed next to her, put the gun close to her head, close proximity, put a hole in her head, to have to write that all out as if you're going to forget it, it's a little strange, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's all I'll say about that for now until more information comes out. So on the following Friday, dive teams scoured Lake Wampanoag, located near Camp Collier, and the official police statement said, quote, "There is no specific information suggesting Pennington is in the lake, but we continue to investigate all possibilities," end quote. At 4 p.m. that day, law enforcement announced that the search for Aaron Pennington was concluded, the physical search at least. They said that the searches hadn't turned up any clues, and they would continue to search for Pennington. Now, depending on who you talk to, Aaron either went into the woods to take his own life after, taking the life of his wife, Brian Laundrie style, or he's currently and still at large on the run from the consequences of his actions. Since he still has not been found, one way or the other, these speculations continue.
Schmidt says it's possible he lashes out.
I would say likely it's possible, and frankly, more than 50% probable that he's going to do some, because right now he's in survivor mode. The only thing he wants to do is get to the next minute of his life. So if there's somebody he comes across that's going to assist in his escape, whether it be take a car or take over a house or hide somewhere, certainly that is a concern of law enforcement. So hopefully, for the purpose of law enforcement that out there, that he ends up just, doing the right thing, either surrendering and, put himself in a position where he doesn't want to hurt anybody else. But unfortunately, in these cases, it's more likely than not that this is going to end with him not surviving this situation.
Schmidt believes Pennington may have already committed suicide or will instigate a suicide by cop scenario.
I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's fairly low. This, generally speaking, these things don't end in a live suspect, so to speak, because he knows he's going to go to prison at the very least for the rest of his life. His life is over. He's lost his kids. He obviously didn't think this through because of his mental health issues. So in his mind, he has nothing else to live for. So it unfortunately, most of the time it ends up in suicide by cop. But I don't see a positive or an outcome where he comes out of this alive.
So the retired FBI agent that you were hearing from in that clip, he also said that Aaron's electronic footprint would be heavily studied by law enforcement to see if they could figure out what his next move might be. And, they're going to be looking at things like his bank account. Did he take money out in the months or weeks leading up to the murder, meaning that it was premeditated, meaning that he planned to be on the run, so he wanted to have cash on him so he didn't have to use credit cards and leave an electronic trail. They're going to look at, his cell phone. Who was he talking to? What was he saying to these people in the months and weeks leading up to this tragic incident? Was he seeing any doctors? Was he prescribed anything? They're going to look at his emails. They're going to look at everything. And they're also going to look at his social media. And similarly, I took to Aaron's social media because I wanted to figure out how something like this could happen, right? Based on his personality and the dynamic between himself and his family. And what I found was interesting, while at the same time kind of confirming what I already suspected, which, in my opinion, has become a big problem with some men in some relationships and some women as well. Well, firstly, let's get this out of the way. According to Aaron Pennington's Facebook page, he is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So he was a Mormon. We've covered so many cases of Mormon men killing their wives and sometimes their children. And each time, I always encourage my viewers to not immediately jump to making broad generalizations, to not paint everyone from a certain group with the same paintbrush. And I still stand by that because it's just common sense, right? Not everybody's the same. Nobody is actually the same. But we also now can't deny that it has become an epidemic of sorts. Mormon men killing their wives, killing their families, killing themselves. In January, we talked about Michael Haight, who killed his wife Tasha, as well as their 5 young children and Tasha's mother before taking his own life. The Haights belonged to the LDS Church in Enoch City, Utah. In March, we discussed the case of Mormon dentist James Craig, who poisoned his wife of 24 years, Angela, while also carrying on an affair with another woman. Now, he did not have the decency to take himself out. He tried to get away with it and tried to lie to everybody and tried to convince everybody to lie for him and try to gaslight the shit out of everybody, but did not take his own life, sadly. We're also very familiar with the case of Josh Powell, who killed his wife Susan Powell before setting his house on fire with himself and his 2 sons inside. And there's also the case of Lori and Mark Hacking, which we haven't spoken about on this channel yet, but I plan to. Now, there's no current research that I'm aware of that states Mormon men are more likely to be family annihilators or more likely to be physically, mentally, emotionally abusive, right? But I cannot help but notice a pattern emerging, especially in recent years. And there is a conversation to be had about the power and patriarchy in the LDS Church, where the men are considered the leaders of their family and the leaders of the church, and where women are expected to follow and obey. Keep sweet, obey, right? This becomes an issue when there is abuse or just a bad marriage in general that the woman feels she wants to remove herself from. But since the husband feels that they are sealed together for all of eternity, the act of leaving the marriage is one that maybe he feels rightfully calls for retaliation. Now, the LDS Church has male-only priesthood, so any leadership roles in the church are filled by men. And when something is happening in the life of an LDS member, woman or man, they're expected to go to their church leaders for counseling, for advice, for help. And those church leaders are always going to be men who may not always understand the perspective of a woman who's in an abusive or bad marriage. If there is abuse happening in the marriage, those involved, if they're a part of the LDS Church, they're not expected to go to the police. They are first expected to go to their bishops for help and advice. But usually that advice is geared towards a very specific outcome. Meg Conley, who spent 35 years in the LDS Church, says that the bishops universally are trying to solve the problem of keeping the family together, like at all costs. Divorce is not really an option. Separation is not really an option. If it can be helped, the LDS Church and the bishops who are in leadership roles in the church, their main goal is to keep the family and the husband and the wife and the kids all together, which is admirable. I get it. But at the same time, they will sometimes kind of ignore the really abusive things happening and think that it can be fixed with like love and understanding, right? And Meg Connolly says, quote, "It's not that the bishops want the women to be hurt, but it's not a top priority compared to making sure that the families stay intact. The most I've heard from any woman that's reached out over the past 2 weeks, the most intervention that they've gotten from a bishop is the suggestion that they go to family counseling, to marriage counseling specifically, so that the husband and wife can learn to not provoke each other," which is absolutely awful advice, end quote. It is awful advice. Absolutely awful advice, because any therapy should be focused on teaching each individual person to, take care of themselves, to not allow themselves to become emotionally dysregulated by the actions of another. Since we can only control our own behavior, we can't control anyone else. We can control how we react to them. We can control how we feel about them, what we think about them, but we cannot make them behave in a way that makes us like them more or makes it easier for us to live with them. That's ludicrous. We should not be teaching women or men to walk around a marriage on eggshells, suppressing who they naturally are or what they naturally want in order to make another person more comfortable or to avoid conflict. Donna Kelly, who's an attorney at the Utah Crime Victims Legal Clinic, she stated that in over 32 years, she's worked with roughly 3,000 victims. And she said, quote, "In the 32 years that I've been a prosecutor, I've never once seen a victim being spoken for by their bishop or church leader. Not once. And many times the victim will be asked to leave the ward because they are too disruptive," end quote. However, Donna Kelly said that she's seen church leaders and bishops advocate for the abusers, the husbands, multiple times. So, as I said, there's certainly a conversation to be had about the LDS Church, about Mormons and the way that they handle conflict in marriages and relationships. I am not a Mormon. I really don't feel it is my place to start that conversation or be a part of the conversation. But I will say any women who are involved in marriages or relationships with LDS men should be vigilant. They should take whatever steps they need to if the relationship becomes abusive in any way. You should find each other, support each other, and make your own unofficial church leadership. That way there's a group of women and even maybe some men who are supportive of what you're doing, because I'm sure they exist in the LDS Church. I know Mormons. Not all of them are bad. Most of them are actually very kind and giving people. And you should create your own group that you can go to for help, for advice, for a place to go if you need to get out, and for witnesses of what's happening. But let's move on. Let's talk about some other information that I gleaned from Aaron Pennington's Facebook account. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you right off the bat. In my opinion, this man was heavily enmeshed with his wife. And in a lot of ways, from what I could tell, being Brienne's husband was his entire identity. He was very codependent to an unhealthy and toxic level. And I know some of you are going to listen to the things that Aaron posted on Facebook, and you're going to think, oh my God, how sweet. I wish my husband would say that about me. I wish my boyfriend would say that stuff about me. I wish my partner would brag about me and flatter me this way on social media. But I would ask you to bear with me. I would ask you to try to keep an open mind and trust me, because I'm going to talk about some of the things he posted, some of the things he said, and then I'm going to tell you why I think it was real toxic and really not healthy, and why it may have contributed to what happened and where we are now. Let's actually first start with the weeks leading up to Brienne's murder, and then we'll go back, way back. So the most recent picture that police have released of Aaron Pennington, it was taken by a Ring doorbell camera on October 11th, and it appears that this was also Aaron's birthday, October 11th. We don't really know what the context of this photo is or whose doorbell camera took the photo. Once again, they just released the picture. They said this is the most recent picture we have of him. It's from a doorbell camera, but they didn't give any other information. But on October 11th, Aaron did some, weird things on Facebook, because I went through this dude's entire Facebook from the time it was started until the time he stopped posting. And I noticed patterns, but I also noticed that this was not a pattern, what he did on October 11th. So at 4:23 a.m., Aaron changed his profile picture to a photo of Jesus Christ, 3 minutes later, he changed the profile picture again to a picture of one of his daughters, one of his little daughters. She's so cute. And then later that night at 5:08 p.m., he changed it again, this time to a picture of that same daughter on his shoulders. You can't see his face. It's from the back. But yeah, he changed his profile picture a couple of times that day. He also posted a picture of his daughters at a pumpkin patch, and he tagged his wife, Brianne, in this photo. Now, it's worth noting that Brianne Pennington had not tagged her husband or mentioned him on her social media since 2022. This is a big sign. This is a big red flag that there's something going on in the marriage. Now, in my opinion, I don't usually like to post like gushy Facebook or Instagram messages about my marriage, my relationships. It's just not the kind of person I am, because I don't think social media is for that. I think people use it for that, but for me, social media feels very fake. It's all about like, what do people want to show you, not what's actually happening. And then we get to a place where a lot of these people, the ones who are posting a lot of their stuff on Facebook, a lot of their personal stuff, like going to the doctor today, or, oh, look how proud I am of my wife. She's amazing. I love her so much. Posting all these pictures, these carefully curated pictures, not pictures of what you look like when you first wake up in the morning, not pictures of the hole in the wall that your wife made when she threw a dish at your face. Pictures of everything looking perfect. These kinds of people tend to care more about what things look like versus what things actually are. So they put a lot of effort into creating this public persona of what their relationship is, almost as if it becomes like a fantasy world for them, almost as if it becomes like, my relationship is not this in real life, but if I pretend it is enough, it will be that, or at least I can slip into that fantasy world where it is that. But if you look back, and you go to the beginning of Aaron's Facebook page, you can tell that before he met Brianne, I don't know, he was a little bit aimless. It seemed like he really didn't have a purpose or a path that he was certain about taking in life. And I mean, he was young, so that makes sense. That's normal. But Aaron and Brianne, they got married pretty young. They got married and they started having kids pretty young. I believe Brianne was 20 years old when they got married, and that would make Aaron like 22, 23. So in 2008, Aaron graduated from Fontana High School in California. This appears to be where he was living and also where he met Brianne, even though she was originally from Texas. By 2012, Aaron was posting videos of himself playing the drums and asking people to subscribe to his YouTube channel, where he posted compelling and well-researched content such as hobo huts. Huts with a Z.
Oh, way back in the day, when we didn't have much to do, our brother would usually have ideas for us, and he told us about this place, and he used to call hobo huts. We were like, what? Pizza Hut? No, hobo hut. It was the way he got us excited about it. So we went down the street and we got out and started walking to the field and noticed that there were tents and these little living spaces that these homeless people made. And we would go inside and take a look to see if there was anything that we could use. We didn't even know that our older brother was using this stuff to make money on eBay. We went over to these hobo huts and saw that they had actual stuff that we could use, like iPods. So there was this hobo hut that was far advanced than the other ones, and that guy had been a Vietnam vet. He had a fan on top of his house to get electricity. He also had a lock on his door. He actually dug a hole for his porta potty so he didn't crap wherever he wanted. He was a genius. We picked up all these different weapons. We had a 2x4, tennis racket. We were trying to be as sneaky as we could. One of us finally drew the straw, knocked on the door, and nobody answered. We opened the door. It was 2x4 with nails sticking out of it, swung out and almost hit us in the face. After that, we were a little bit skeptical of any more booby traps, but we went in there and started looking around through the stuff. We saw that there was some fake money. He had a bunch of cool stuff. So after we finished organizing his stuff, we saw that there was this one sealed off area with a lock on it that we couldn't get open. Finally, we opened it up. It was just his bed where he would stay at night. He didn't want any Viet Cong sneaking up on him at night.
So yeah, from what I can gather from this clip, Aaron and his friends went into what they called hobo huts, HUDs with Z's, and basically broke into these places and then looked around and went through the belongings of people who didn't have homes and who had created what they thought to be a safe sanctuary, even though they didn't have a home. They were able to create a space that they felt safe in. And he says in this clip, like, oh, there was a locked area that clearly he didn't want anybody to get into. And when we finally broke into that, we realized it was just where he slept. Like, the lack of self-awareness The lack of self. He didn't want people to get into that. So we really tried hard and were eventually able to break into it and then realized it was just where this person slept, where he wanted to feel safe and be safe. Dude, I hope they did not break the lock to that area, because I know this was in 2012, but I'm going to find a time machine, go back and kick Aaron Pennington's ass for more than one reason. So that was what Aaron seemed to be doing before he met Brianne. Kind of just being a dumb teenager, early 20s guy, not really knowing what he was doing, acting, younger than he should have been, acting more immature than he should have been, trying to make a YouTube channel with like funny content, but the music was too loud, the green screen was weird, and honestly, he just wasn't compelling or charismatic enough to hold anybody's attention. But either way, he was trying. He was trying to do something. He wanted to be something. He wanted people to see him as somebody. On January 22nd, 2013, Aaron posted that he was in a relationship with Brianne. And the next mention of Brianne is another post about being in a relationship on February 28th, 2013. So I'm not sure if they started dating, broke up, and then started dating again, but something happened, because then he posted the same relationship status again on March 25th, 2013. So yeah, that's weird. 3 times he posted that he's in a relationship with Brianne, and each time was like a month apart. So on April 16th, 2013, Aaron posted a picture of Brianne with the caption, "The hottest girlfriend." And from then on, he continued to post many pictures of them together, usually making any new photo that he put up his profile picture. On May 21st, 2013, Aaron posted a picture of himself and Brianne together and captioned it, quote, "Night at my house with my fiance." So I don't believe they were engaged at this point, but they were probably talking about it. But basically what you need to know regardless is Aaron and Brianne, they got engaged within months of dating, which to me is concerning. It can be a sign of love bombing, most likely on Aaron's part. It can be a sign of limerence, which is, the concept of thinking you're in love with someone, but you're not. You're in love with the idea of someone. You're in love with this like future that you've created in your head with them that doesn't exist, but you can't actually be in love with them because you haven't known them long enough to actually be in love with the person themselves. So it's a sign that things are moving a little too fast, especially because they're so young. In May of 2013, Aaron was at Brianne's pedicure appointment with her, posting pictures of her in the chair having her feet worked on. In June of 2013, Aaron posted a meme that said, "Getting married at 22 sounds a lot like leaving a party at 9:30 p.m. And he captioned it with, "I totally agree." But then on June 29th, 2013, Aaron posted a picture of himself and Brianne and wrote, quote, "I love this girl oh so much. I cannot believe it took this long to find her. The journey has been worth every moment not being around her to finally be with Breezy for all time, history, and eternally. Like Rihanna said, she shined bright like a diamond the first time I met her. I thank God she even noticed me. Her smile since day one before horseback riding made me think of an angel descending down from the heavens during a crappy time in my life. Thank you, Breezy." End quote. Okay, so I'm not going to do this after every post. I'm going to get a good bulk of posts in before I start making comments. But listen, we got a lot of things going on here with this post, all right? He's going to be with her forever, for all eternity. And he's saying this before they even got married. So in my opinion, there's already a level of possession and obsession and like clinginess happening. Like, we're going to be together for all eternity. If somebody said that to me within a year of meeting them, I'm out. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how good the sex is. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care. You are not going to tell me we're going to be together for an eternity or for eternally together within a year of meeting you. But that's just me. I know, I understand that everyone's different and everybody likes different things. For me, that's love bombing. For me, as a, fearful avoidant attachment style, those are signs to me of like, oh shit, get out now while you can before you're locked in some hole in the ground and he's, asking you to put the lotion on for the skin. Secondly, in my opinion, what this post tells me is we have a clear issue with low self-esteem in Aaron, low self-worth, where he says, he thanks God that Brianne even noticed him. And we sort of have a hint of hero worship from Aaron towards Brianne, and this will continue. It is a pattern. He said, he imagined her as an angel descending from heaven during a bad time in his life. Ultimately, this is telling me Brienne saved him, right? He was aimless. He had no path. She showed up like an angel descending from heaven. She gave him a reason to continue on, a purpose, a path to follow. And that can feel very powerful to a young man who'd previously felt aimless and unmoored. We know that because young men who feel aimless and unmoored watch Andrew Tate religiously because they feel like they are a part of something. They feel like somebody's telling them, hey, you have potential. I know you feel like you're not going anywhere right now, but you can. I see it in you. You have potential. And a good woman, right? A good woman will come in and give her partner support and encouragement. But when it's the only support and encouragement that that person's getting, when he's never heard that before from anybody else and he's hearing it from her, it can be a little bit like, he's maybe getting unhealthily attached. That's all I'm going to say. That's not all I'm going to say, but let's continue on with the rest of the posts. In July of 2013, Brienne and Aaron were married. But listen to this. By August, Aaron was posting the song Need You Now by Lady A, and he tagged his wife in this post. And this is not a song that I believe would be listened to by someone in a relationship where everything was going smoothly, right? Or where you just got married and it's the honeymoon period and you're just happy as pie and you love each other so much. This is a song of like loss, like a deep loss of missing someone, of aching for that person to come back, right? Let's look at the lyrics. Picture perfect memories scattered all around the floor, reaching for the phone 'cause I can't fight it anymore. And I wonder if I ever cross your mind. For me, it happens all the time. And then we've also got another shot of whiskey. Can't stop looking at the door. Wishing you'd come sweeping in the way you did before. And then, of course, the most concerning lyric, which doesn't sound like somebody in a very happy marriage. Guess I'd rather hurt than feel nothing at all. And so on and so forth, right? Not like a newlywed kind of song that you should be tagging your wife in. But anyways, on September 8th, Aaron posted a picture of Brienne's sonogram while she was carrying their first child. Based on a post made on October 27th, where Aaron put up a picture of a cake that said, Happy Birthday Breezy, with candles showing that she had turned 21, Brienne was only 20 when she got married. Another sign that things may not work out, since at 20, you don't really know yet who you are, what you want out of life, what you want out of a long-term partner. And I know there's going to be people in the comment section who are like, I've been married to my husband since I was 16. It's been 79 years and we've never been happier and we're going to die together like the Notebook in bed holding each other. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule. And I'm very happy for you because that's the goal, right? To find someone you love, who takes care of you, who will love you until the day you die, even when you're old and you smell and, you're not at your best and you're sick, sickness, health, richer for poorer, all that. That's the goal. That's what everyone wants. It's just not always the most common thing because people bring their own baggage into relationships and into marriages. And it's the exception. It's not the rule for something like that to happen. So at 20, did Brienne even know what she wanted to do? I mean, she knew she had passions and she knew she was driven and she wanted to do things. But all of a sudden now she's a wife and about to be a mother, and she's 21, I think Aaron was a little controlling and maybe overprotective with Brienne right from the beginning. For instance, he posted this magazine article about like personal safety for women, and it said something like, are you a tourist or a target? And then it showed a woman kind of like in hiking gear, and then it's this article about like, even if women go out and they think they're safe, they're not safe. And like, I completely agree, but he posted this, he tagged Brienne in it. And I think it was kind of like a sign to her. I think that Brienne was independent. She was into 4-H, science, loved horseback riding. She grew up in Texas. She was used to doing things on her own, and maybe Aaron didn't always feel comfortable with that. And we do sometimes see men do this to women. It's not that I don't trust you out there alone. It's that I don't trust everyone else. I don't trust the world. Something bad could happen to you. You could fall victim to some nefarious man. And how can I protect you if I don't, stay by your side 24/7? Or You could just stay home all the time where I know where you are and where I don't have to worry about you not being safe. Don't make me worry, please. Just you want to get gas for your car? I'll get gas for your car. You want to go out with your friends? I'll come with you. Just please don't make me worry about you. We see this sometimes, and I'm sure a lot of it comes from a real place of concern, but some of it comes from a place of like, I want to control you and I truly don't trust you because I feel like shit about myself and I feel like I don't deserve you and you are, you could do better. So I'm going to monitor you all the time and make sure you never have the opportunity to run into somebody who will show you that you could do better so that you won't leave me, because if you leave me, I have nothing. And it's very hard to distinguish between the two. It's very hard, especially when you're young and you look at somebody being protective over you as care and kindness, like a father or something. But let's continue on. On February 14th, 2014, Aaron posted asking Brianne, quote, "Won't you be my Valentine? I love you, babe, now and forever. I hope you enjoy this Valentine's Day because next year I'll have 2. He means his daughter. He'll have Brianne and the daughter that Brianne is carrying in her stomach. He continues on saying, "You're my love and happiness and make me more than I will ever be. I have loved you for 2 whole Valentine's days." Wow, 2 whole Valentine's days. Whew. That's a long time. And then he says, "And I'm the first." I don't know what he means by that, but he continues on to say, "Thank you for all you have done for me and for your love. You're amazing," end quote. The following month, on March 17th, Aaron wrote, "I'm so lucky and have been greatly blessed each day I wake up next to my great friend and true confidant. She makes me happier than I could achieve ever before. This is what life is about, and she's making it happen. Thank you for all your support, encouragement, positivity, happiness, devotion, and love," end quote. On October 27th, 2014, Aaron posted, quote, "Happy birthday to my wife. I love her more and more each day I learn about her. We've been married for 1.5 years, and I couldn't imagine doing anything different with anyone else. We've been through a lot of changes, and I love growing with her. She's my prime example. Excellent mother, outstanding wife, and great friend to all. You are my inspiration," end quote. On July 28th, 2015, Aaron posted, quote, "You never realize how blessed you are. I have the most amazing wife, and she's been such a reflection of what beauty and purity looks like," end quote. On October 10th, 2015, Aaron accompanied Brianne to her eyebrow appointment and posted a picture of it. On August 5th, he went with Brianne to get her hair done and posted a picture of it. On September 27th, 2016, from Japan, where apparently he was stationed at the time with the Air Force, Aaron wrote, quote, "Thank you for all you do for our family, the great dinners, late nights with Levi, the diaper changes, potty training, and running around you do every day. You have the most selfless outlook and are so dedicated to making us happy. We appreciate you as the hardest working mother and wife out there. I want you to know I love you for always being patient and a great example for Avery and Levi," end quote. So Avery is their first daughter, Levi their son, followed by this time they have 2 kids. On February 14th, Aaron posted, quote, "Breezy, you are my best friend and better half. I've become better because of you. Every day I learn something new because you give me the drive to do better. I appreciate all the amazing, quick, tasty dinners you make every night. The daily tasks of taking care of 2, which you sacrifice and hold off other pursuits so you can be a 24/7 mom," end quote. Wow, 24/7 mom. Whew, that sounds rough. On Mother's Day that same year, Aaron posted, quote, "Shout out to Breezy, the hardest working, best cook, and talented mother. You truly set a great example for our kids as to how to be a good mother and role model," end quote. On July 4th, 2017, Aaron posted, quote, "Happy 4th anniversary to my super amazing wife. You've made me a better person and helped me achieve greater things. I've never known someone with such a bright, positive, and encouraging outlook on life. I love everything you do and put yourself through to make us a strong unit. I look to you for goals oftentimes because you seem to have yourself already squared away," end quote. But it seemed like there may have been some trouble between Brianne and Aaron around this time, because on July 27th, Aaron posted a picture of some old white dude with the words, "The cure for most marital troubles does not lie in divorce. It lies in repentance and forgiveness, in expressions of kindness and concern," end quote. On August 3rd, 2018, Aaron posted another picture of another white guy who's slightly less old with the words, quote, Love should never be withdrawn when a person fails to live up to our expectations, end quote. In October of 2019, Aaron posted another birthday message to his wife stating that, quote, I would be nothing without her, end quote. On June 18th of this year, Aaron posted on Father's Day, and he talked about what a great example his father had set for him, by showing him what being a father and a husband looked like. And then he added, quote, I know that when I grow into the best version of myself, I will always remember the woman that supported me in this. That is my one true love, Breezy. You are the most important human being on this earth that I have come to know, end quote. Whew. Okay, so just to be clear, Brianne did not like or interact with this post, the one where he says she's his one true love, the most important person on this earth that he's come to know, et cetera, et cetera. And this was the last sentimental post that Aaron made on his Facebook. So let's discuss what all of this looks like to me. And once again, this is just to me. I have a more avoidant personality. I'm a little bit more private with my relationships. The thought of making a super, super gushy Facebook post like Aaron made makes me want to cringe for him and then curl up into a ball and pretend I never saw it. It makes me very, very uncomfortable because to me, these feelings at their face value are amazing. And yes, I'm sure that Brianne wanted to hear them. So tell her, text her, call her, or better yet, take her out to dinner, hold her hands, look in her eyes, and tell her this stuff because that kind of information's only for you guys. That's very intimate, tender, sweet, and personal things to say to somebody. And that should be done face to face, in person, with meaning, with your voice, with your chest, with genuine sentimentality, not put on Facebook so that everyone can be like, oh my God, Aaron, what a good husband you are. You are so lucky to have her and she's so lucky to have you. Oh my God, Aaron, this is amazing. You have the most beautiful love story I've ever seen. It's just weird to me, okay? And it's just weird to me. I don't like it. So this is going to be from my perspective. Some of y'all might feel different and some of y'all might not agree with me, but we can disagree about things and what they mean. Just as long as, have an open mind, hear me out, follow me down this path for a little bit. So let's discuss what this all looks like to me. In my opinion, Aaron's social media behavior is a clear sign of someone who's built their whole identity around someone else, around the idea of being a husband and a father. And I feel that Aaron thought if he would lose that, he might have nothing. I mean, he's kind of said that, you are everything to me. You're my life. I had nothing before you. What did he use? Words like, she's his prime example, his inspiration, goals, things like that. Thank you for all you do for me, for us. And what if he didn't have Brianne? What if Brianne took his kids? Aaron might feel once again very unmoored. I also think it's weird that Aaron went to Brianne's hair appointments with her. He went to her pedicures with her, her eyebrow appointments. And I get it. Okay, sometimes my husband comes with me to get my eyebrows done, but that's usually because he's also getting his done or we're just stopping there on the way to go someplace else. He certainly doesn't just come to watch me get my nails done or my hair done or my eyebrows done. And he certainly is not posting about it on Facebook. Look, here's my wife getting her hair done. That's weird. I wouldn't like that. And I also wouldn't want my husband or any partner I was with breathing down my neck at a pedicure appointment or a long-ass hair appointment when that's supposed to be my time to just chill, unwind, look at my phone, not have to be something to someone else, right? Because I enjoy my alone time. Some people don't. Some people who are anxiously attached really enjoy always being with their partner, always knowing where their partner is, always making sure that they're constantly connected. They get super stressed out if you don't answer their text right away. They get super stressed out if you just want some time on your own. But some people really enjoy their alone time. So what if Brianne was somebody who kind of liked her alone time, but Aaron really just didn't give her a choice? And he was like, I'm coming to your hair appointment with you. And I'm going to stare at you the whole time like the goddess that you are. Once again, some women might be like, I would like that. I would not. I would not. So Aaron also gushed on social media about how wonderful Brianne was, how perfect she was, so much better than him, so much more perfect than him. How did he even get so lucky to have her in his life? How did God send her to him? This, in my opinion, is a clear sign of someone who has low self-worth and low self-confidence. A relationship is supposed to be between two people who see themselves as equals, who are aware of the unique set of skills and characteristics that they bring into the union, and who don't necessarily need constant validation from the other person that they're worthy of being in a relationship with them. But when someone puts their significant other on a pedestal like this, it's easy for that person to fall short. And I mean the person on the pedestal. In Aaron's head, Brienne was this perfect, pure angel, untouchable, unshakable. What did he say? You're kind of squared away. You've got your shit together. And I'm this mess, and you came in and you fixed me. But that kind of idealization, it's dangerous because we know, logically, no one's perfect. And no one should be everything to someone else. That's just too much pressure. And it's impossible that Brienne wouldn't fall short of these high expectations every once in a while. Additionally, like I said, Aaron seems to look at Brienne as a person who came into his life and fixed it. There was darkness and aimlessness before her. There was light and happiness and purpose after her. And although he does talk very positively about Brienne on social media, it's usually really not about her. It's not about her personal attributes. It's about how she makes him feel, how she inspires him to be better, how she supports him, what she does for him, for their family, making tasty dinners, quick tasty dinners, diaper changes, sacrificing, showing everyone what a real wife does, giving up her own personal pursuits to be a 24/7 mother. Ugh. Now this tells me that Brienne did have personal pursuits. She did have things that she wanted to do personally. And there was probably an argument. There was probably a discussion. And Aaron was like, I'm the man. In the LDS church, the man's the leader of the family, and right now you're needed in the home. We got a lot of kids, and you got to take care of them, and you're going to have to put what you want on hold. And maybe she didn't like that because maybe she was, looking for more of a, let's work together and figure out how we can make this happen for you. One day a week, you go to your book club or go to your writing class or go to your drama class, and I'll take the kids. I'll watch them. Or we have family members, we have in-laws, we have friends who can help you out so that you two can have a life outside of this home so that you do not have to create your identity solely around being one thing or being something to someone. It seemed that Aaron felt Brienne saved him, gave him purpose, and inspired him to be the man he always wanted to be. She was his inspiration, like some otherworldly deity. Someone being obsessed with me like this, expecting so much out of me and expecting me to be this wise oracle who always had the answer, who was always ready to offer support and encouragement. It sounds exhausting, dude. Oh my God, it would personally cause me so much stress and anxiety every single day because I know in my heart, I'm not perfect. I can be stupid and selfish and mean. And the second my mask of perfection and patience fell off, I feel as if someone like Aaron would let me know. He'd let me know the disappointment in him would be very clear, and then I would feel really bad about it. I would feel guilty, which then would cause resentment. I would think to myself, this person doesn't love me for me, not through the good and the bad. He loves me for what I do for him, how I make him feel about himself. And let's be honest, that's not love, that's codependence, that's enmeshment, that's toxic. And people should really get more comfortable just being alone and being happy being alone and considering any relationship that they have in their lives to be just a cherry on top, right? Somebody to grow with, somebody to build something with, but also somebody who's going to let you live your own life and pursue your own pursuits. And the fact that Aaron says, Breezy, you seem to have it all together. You're squared away. And now it's like your job to help me figure my shit out. She's not squared away. There's no way that Brienne was squared away in her 20s with several young children. Her hormones are probably going all over the place. It's very, very likely that Brienne was not squared away at all. She needed something from him, something from somebody, some sort of support, somebody to just look at her and tell her it's going to be okay today. And I know you haven't showered in 3 days and you're exhausted. And you don't need to put a tasty dinner on the table today. Yeah, I can help you with the diaper changes today. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not sacrifice yourself to the point of no return to be a 24/7 mom because you're a human being and you need help. But he seemed to think she had it all squared away, that this was easy. And people pleasers will do that. And I'm not saying people pleasing is a bad thing. As a fearful avoidant, I do have people pleasing tendencies, especially early on in a relationship. I want to show my worth to somebody. So I'm going to try to show them like I'm great, I don't get mad. I'm not ruffled. I don't need anything. I'm here to help you. What can I do for you? Let me pour into you. And after doing that for a while, you do start to feel resentful when the person is not in return pouring back into you because you made a silent agreement with them that they didn't know about, right? But at some point, you're going to need somebody to help you, or you're going to have a moment of being less than perfect, maybe throw a little baby fit. And then the person who thought you had it all together, who thought you were an angel from the heavens just to come down to fix his life, he's going to look at you like, oh, I can't depend on you now. What's going on with you? What's wrong with you? And this is going to cause issues in the relationship. It's going to cause you to feel, invalidated in the way you're feeling, but it's also going to cause you to feel inadequate. And like I said, this is going to cause conflict, arguments, resentment. And I think that somebody like Aaron would literally be like, where is this coming from? Why is Brianne so mad all of a sudden? Why is she so pissed? Why does she want to leave me? Why is she not happy? Because the whole time she was trying to keep on this perfect face, this perfect, image of purity and beauty, like the Virgin Mary that you made her into, when that wasn't who she really was. And sometimes she just wanted to let her guard down and maybe ugly cry. And I don't think that she felt she could do that. So eventually it all came to a head. It's just my opinions. So I think that when, Aaron started going through some mental health issues, it probably was a level of anxiety. He was probably doing things that were not like him, maybe following her, searching through her drawers, fighting with her, acting crazy. One day saying, I love you. The next saying, like, I can't stand you. Why do you hate me so much? I've given you everything. And she's probably like, yo, this dude's out of his mind. And she's like, I can't take it anymore. She starts saving up money, planning to move to Texas. I don't know if she told him or if he found out some other way, but he clearly found out. And he snapped. He snapped at the idea of losing her because then he didn't know what he would have otherwise. And I think that this was in the works, in the making for several months. I think that's why he eventually left the Air Force, why he eventually left his job, because he was either acting out and he had to be let go, or he couldn't hold all those balls in the air and still think about and struggle with the fact that he was trying to save his marriage. So he probably tried to pour everything he had into saving his marriage, which when you're in that stage of like anxiety and lack is going to still push the other person away. And I also think that he just wasn't super stable. He didn't have a solid sense of self, and that is a dangerous thing. But I will say at this time, Aaron Pennington has still not been located, and police are reevaluating their search methods. Based on how invested he was in Brianne and in the marriage, I do at this point suspect that Aaron Pennington took his own life. But there is still a chance that he's out there. And if you see him, please call 911 or the Gardner police at 978-632-5600 or call the state police at 508-829-8326. But before we wrap this up, I just want to see if there's anything new that came out from yesterday, because this is a developing case and sometimes new things are popping up all the time. Yeah, there's really nothing new. I mean, it's just basically saying he could still be armed and dangerous. He's still missing. They don't really know where he is, but they're still trying to find him, although the physical search has been suspended. I don't know. When we talked about this on Crime Weekly News, Derek thought that Aaron definitely went in somewhere deep, took his own life, and, has probably since fallen victim to animal activity, and maybe he will never be found. He could be on the loose. He could be on the run. As we had discussed previously, he did have survival training with the military. If he had been taking out small amounts of cash through ATMs and things in the months leading up to Brianne's murder, that could mean that he was stockpiling money so that he, didn't have to use credit cards and he could go on the run. I think he probably did take his own life. I think he probably did. Unless he had some other vehicle stashed there at Camp Collier waiting for him that he could swap out with the BMW. But once again, police are looking through trail cameras. They're going to look through his electronic records. We're going to find out more. At the end of the day, I want to talk about the 4 Pennington kids, who literally just overnight lost both of their parents, lost their home, lost the lives that they knew overnight. And the oldest child is 9. The youngest, I believe, is 2. These are very young children who have no idea what's happening. And it's such a terrible time, right? This happened right around the time of Brianne's birthday. I believe it was her 30th birthday. It happened right before Halloween. It happened right before the holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, breaks from school, things like that. Time to spend time together as a family. That's what we do in November, December, January. We're all stuck inside. It's cold. We spend time with our family. We are thankful for them. We give each other gifts. We love each other. We have hot cocoa. We sing carols. And these kids, hopefully most of them are young enough where it won't be as impactful. But imagine the trauma on them. Like, I remember how hard Christmas was for me for most years of my life because of certain trauma I had encountered as a child around that holiday season. Will the holidays forever be ruined for the Pennington children? Will they never get over this? I mean, as I said, I hope that they did not see their mother. I hope that Aaron locked the door to the bedroom so they couldn't go in. But they're going to know what their father did. And I was going to say probably when they're older, but they're going to know what their father did. They're going to have to go to school eventually, and kids are assholes. You know, kids will talk. Kids have no empathy, man. Kids are born like little psychopathic monsters with no empathy, and they do not care. And they'll tease, and, oh, your dad killed your mom, and you have no parents, you're an orphan, stupid shit like that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They are 4 more victims here. And Brianne, she was trying to get out. She was going to get out. She was that close to getting out, and that's probably why he was triggered to do this now, because he saw the end. He saw her leaving, and then he didn't see anything else after that because he didn't know who he was without her. And that's very damaging. So I encourage anybody who feels that enmeshed with another person to do a little self-work. There's a couple of good books I can recommend. One is called The Art of Being Alone. Another is called, I believe it is, Codependent No More. We also have Codependence and the Power of Detachment. Lots of great books that you can read that can help you just learn to love yourself, be happy with yourself, and then anything that anyone else brings to your life is just gravy, right? You don't depend on it. You don't need it. It's a beautiful thing being able to be alone. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. In fact, my social interaction bandwidth is usually about 90 minutes, and then I start to really feel the need to withdraw, sit by a fire, have a cup of tea, read a book, or just like binge watch something. I really enjoy being alone. I really, really, really enjoy it. And I'm so grateful for it because nothing's ever going to happen to me at the hands of someone else where it's like they're leaving me or something, where I'm going to be crushed and I won't be able to move on. I won't be able to function. It will never be me. And I think that it would be very healthy if more people took the kind of stance where it's like, I am here. I'm responsible for myself. I can control myself. And I would like to bring other people into my life, and I would like to trust that they won't betray me and that they'll do right by me. But if they do betray me and if they don't do right by me, then that's about them, and I let them go. And then I open my arms to whatever else comes next, period. We don't need to be this attached to anybody. I don't care if you're in a marriage and you're like, well, I made a commitment, I'm in a marriage. It doesn't matter. If you're not happy, if it's bad, if you can't look forward and see the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years with this person, you gotta detach and move on. And that's perfectly okay. It's better than continuing to be with somebody that you cannot give what they want to. It's better than having to worry that they have become so attached to you, so enmeshed in you, so obsessed with you that they're going to try to kill you if you leave. It's better. It's healthy. It's healthy. You cannot love someone else until you love yourself. And then once you do love yourself, you'll realize that that is the greatest love that there ever is. And anybody else who comes in is just going to be a benefit. And somebody that you can love and somebody who can love you, but not somebody that you necessarily need. All right, let's do our small business showcase. I forgot last episode. I feel terrible, but let's do our small business showcase now before we wrap up. So today's small business comes to us from Allison Ballard. She says, "Hi, Stephanie. I'm Allison. I'm a big fan. I love your deep dives and all the hard work and effort you put into your videos, and especially love all your hot takes on these true crime cases." Oh, you'll get them in this video. I always enjoy everything you cover. Appreciate all the research you do on your topics. Just finished my two-parter on Misty Copsey. Thank you so much, Allison. Now, Allison owns Catalyst Fragrance Company, and she specializes in scented products ranging from wax melts to car fresheners to room and body sprays. She started Catalyst Fragrance Company in November of 2020, so her 3-year anniversary is coming up on November 13th. Oh, it's in 3 days. Perfect. She said, "I started making wax melts in the height of the pandemic, needing something to do, being too afraid to join the workforce during this time. I already had a lifelong love for scented products. Who doesn't?" And she thanks her mom for instilling this in her. She found a passion for actually making them during her testing. After months of testing, she opened up her shop in November with just wax melts, but she's eventually branched out to car fresheners, room sprays, and body sprays. She says, "Most of the brand staples are custom scents that I make myself. It's so fun to create amazing scents that are unique to my brand and creative in this way. This year, I also opened a new branch of my wax melt shop called Bad Cat Wax Melts, which is more for NSFW-themed wax melts and for those who love profanity and have a twisted sense of humor." And both of her shops can be found on Etsy. So I'm going to link both of them, the Catalyst Fragrance Company and then the Bad Cat Wax Melts. And honestly, these are both awesome. So first of all, we'll talk about Catalyst Fragrance Company. These are, the wax melts are what I'm the most interested in, honestly, because I love wax melts. And I actually just got a new wax burner that I'm really into, and I've been using candles on it, and I'd rather use wax melts. But some of these scents look amazing. So we've got frosted apple and pine, and they look kind of like striped like a candy cane, which looks so cool. She has one called Witchcraft, which is like sparkly and glittery. It's so pretty. And the scent is soothing lavender, black amber, and Egyptian musk. Amazing. Ooh, she has one called Autumn Air, which once again, these are just not, they probably smell great. I don't know how they smell. I'm sure they smell amazing, but they're so pretty and artistic looking. So the Autumn Air is oak moss, spiced apple, blue sage. Amazing. I want that immediately. And the Witchcraft one. Ooh, let's see what the Autumn Leaves one smells like. Once again, so pretty. This one's got soft cedar, spiced apple, autumn musk. This is amazing. But let's talk about Bad Cat Wax Melts because, yes, these are a little bit more adult, but also they look super fun. So there's one called Thick Girls Only, which is a wax melt clamshell. And it says the scents are Georgia peaches, agave nectar, and thickness overload. Amazing. There's wax melts that are shaped like male genitalia, and they're called Chicks Before Dicks. And the scents are pink dragon fruit and peach nectar. Oh my God. So you can absolutely use these for like bachelorette parties, gag gifts, or I mean, just if you're into that and you think that it's cool for your house. I mean, I don't see a problem with it. They also have some astrologically themed ones. They have one that says Gemini AF, Cancer AF, Pisces AF, Scorpio AF, Taurus AF. Is there an Aquarius AF? Capricorn AF, Aquarius AF. All right, let's see what we got here because I'm an Aquarius. So the scent on this is spiced bergamot and soft musk and mahogany wood. See, I told you there's a reason I love bergamot. I knew it. This looks so good. So yeah, I actually there's only one of these left too. So can I have one, please? Anyways, I keep talking about this because I just think they're so cool. But I will stop because you guys can go check out both of these shops yourself. I will link them both in the description box. Also, Allison told me in her email that she would be willing to put together a coupon code for people if they want to purchase from her shops. And I responded back to her just now and I was like, yeah, what discount were you thinking? What would you be able to do? That would be great. So when she does get back to me with the coupon code, I will place it in the description box right next to where I place the links to her Etsy shops. So awesome. Thank you so much, Allison. These are awesome. Thank you for making me smile today. I appreciate that. And we will wrap up with that. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for listening to the Small Business Showcase. Everybody tell Allison hi. Head over. Check out her wax melts though. okay? Because they're very, very pretty, very artistic looking, like works of art. And I'm excited to order some myself. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it. Share it if you think it's worth sharing. Understand that this is an open and ongoing case. This person is still on the loose. So if you're in the Massachusetts area or surrounding areas, keep a lookout. Be careful. Once again, we'll put the numbers up on the screen. 911, Gardner Police, State Police. I'll have Nev put those up right now. And yeah, until next time, stay kind, stay beautiful, and stay safe. And I'll see you very, very, very soon. Bye.
Straight down, and that river runs deep, the mountains get steep, and the voices getting too loud. All these feelings I've buried, it's looking like a cemetery. They're coming back from the grave, calling out my name, better say a Hail Mary. Well, you don't know how deep it goes until it's getting you slowly. So you got to let it go. I got blood, blood on the strings, blood, blood on the strings, blood, blood on the strings. Being played from my face, don't bleed. Got blood, blood on the strings, blood, blood on the strings, blood, blood on the strings. Lord knows it's been a rough week. Been channeling my son house.